Alright guys, so in this video we want to use our rules to subtract fractions and decimals, and we also will demonstrate a number line used to subtract fractions and decimals, mainly with the decimals. First thing to know is all subtraction is simply adding the opposite. Okay, so if you see any subtraction problem, you can change it to addition and change the sign of the second item. We'll see this in action here right away. So first thing we're going to do, let's look at the problem -1 1/3 minus 1/6. -1 1/3 minus 1/6. I'm going to rewrite -1 1/3 as -4 over 3. Because we take the -1, multiply it times 3, add 1, we get -4/3. Next thing I'm going to do is just rewrite 1 over 6. Now in order to subtract these, I need a common denominator. So I'm going to find a common denominator of 6 for both of these. 3 times 2 is 6, 4 times 2 is 8. So -4/3 is the same as -8/6. Now I'm going to apply what the rule said at the beginning. All subtraction is really adding the opposite. So I was subtracting 1/6. I'm going to change it to adding -1/6. Subtracting 1/6 is just like adding -1/6. -8 plus -1 makes a -9. So I have -9 over 6. This reduces to -3 over 2. And if I wanted to write it as a mixed number, I could. I could say -1 1/2. Okay. Let's look at another one here. How about 1 2/5 minus a -3/5? So on this one, I'm going to first rewrite it as an addition problem. I'm going to say 1 2/5 plus +3/5 plus +3/5 minus a negative is just like adding the opposite. Minus a negative, adding a positive. Now all I have is a 1 2/5 and I'm adding a 3/5. Well, the 2/5 and the 3/5 add together to make 5/5. So it's kind of like 1 5/5. And you can think of that as 1 and another whole. 5/5 is 1. The final answer here is a whole number 2. Let's look at another one. -1/3 minus -1/2. -1/3 minus -1/2. Okay, let's just rewrite it first. -1/3. Instead of minus a negative, plus a +1/2. Okay, in order to successfully add these together, I need a common denominator. 3 and 2, they both go into 6 evenly. So notice I'm making my denominator 6 and 6. 1/3 is just like 2 6. Don't forget it's a negative. 1/2 is just like 3 6, and I'm adding. I am adding, but notice that the signs are different. I have a -2 and a +3. When signs are different, subtract and keep the sign of the number farthest from 0. So it's going to be something over 6. 3 minus 2 is 1. And now I need to think about what sign is it. Is it a +1/6 or a -1/6? Looking at the two numbers, -2 and +3, +3 is the one farther from 0. So we keep his sign. The answer is going to be a +1/6. All right, let's look at some decimals and then we'll talk about them on a number line as well. look at what I have here. 2.25 minus a negative 0.25. 2.25 minus a negative 0.25. Okay, in order to apply the number line, what I first need to do is put 2.25, I'll mark that, 2.25 right here. So there's my starting point. Now, for this to work, I do need to change it to an addition problem. 2.25 plus positive 0.25, because remember, all subtraction is really adding the opposite. Some people do this, some people make this plus and then make this plus, and that's perfectly fine too. Now I'm good to go. If I start at 2.25 plus 0.25 on a number line means go to the right that many. Since looking at this number line, each of the iterations are 0.25. If I just go to the right 0.25 like it says, I'm here. And we can see I'm at 2.5 or 2.50. Notice this is also achieved simply by saying 2.25 added to 0.25. And we can do this addition normally, 2.50, and we get our answer that way as well. Let's look at one more. Negative 0.25 minus negative 0.5. Okay, I'm going to rewrite it as an addition problem. 0.25 plus positive 0.5. Remember, I could show it this way too. I could say plus here and plus here, because all subtraction is adding the opposite. Alright, we're going to start at negative 0.25 on the number line. Here's negative 0.25. Looking at my second number and the sign in front of it, it means I need to go to the right 0.5. So in this case, and according to this number line, that would be each iteration is 0.25. So to achieve 0.5, I got to go to the right twice. 1, 2. And if you notice where I'm at 0.25. 0.25. Doing this without a number line, think of it as 0.5 and negative 0.25 signs are different. That means subtract. 0.5 minus 0.25 is 0.25. Which sign do I keep? The one next to the 0.5. It's farther from 0. So it's a positive 0.25.